Good evening, everyone. We are back in the workshop and we are yet on to another project here. We'll be showcasing you some pictures tomorrow on the vanity that we finished, and hopefully we will get that dresser out as well. But tonight I wanted to welcome you and thank you for jumping on with me tonight. I'm Kimberly with Unique Finds and Furniture Designs. Thank you for being here this evening. It is our 7 o'clock live time. And we are going to go over again with some prep, why we need to prep and how we do the prep. And this prep process is kind of across the board. I feel like it's just one of those things. I am putting some gloves on. It's one of those things that is a step I never skip. We've talked about it before. I know sometimes there's some confusion about, chalk paint says that you can just clean your pieces. You don't have to do any prep. That always depends on the piece of furniture you're working on. Every piece is individually unique to itself, and the needs are different across the board. So every piece of furniture that comes through my workshop has its own unique needs. Some of them may need a little more than others, and that's why I do these live tutorials, to help you guys understand that it's kind of one of those things you got to be flexible about. You got to be open to the expectation that you might have to do a little bit more with a different piece of furniture than the piece you had prior. So a lot of times if you have a really great piece of furniture, until you get it in the workshop, it looks great, and then you start going over it and looking it over, and then you start finding the imperfections or flaws or what might need to be done with it. So to me, it's always an opportunity to get a feel for your pieces, what you might want to do to them, make them unique in their own way, so that each piece, for each piece that goes out, it has its own unique abilities with it. So for tonight, I am going to go back over some prep for some newbies that are having some questions, and I do this just across the board, whether I'm using our chalk mineral line or whether I'm using our silk mineral line. I use the same steps because I think it's important that you get to the substrate of your material so that your product will adhere well. That's the whole reason we're prepping something, and that's the whole, in a nutshell, what gives you that end result and those amazing end results. So if you want amazing end results, no matter what line you're using, prep is super important. Sometimes you will get pieces like I have here that we are working on that's maybe been priorly painted. We don't know who it's been painted by. Hey, Miss Kelly, or what paint they've used. So in those cases, when you start doing your prep, you will find out a lot about the paint. Even though you didn't paint it, you will find out what kind of paint they used when you start prepping. Because when you use the cleaner, it's going to do a couple of things. And I've had this happen to me. You're going to spray it on there, and the paint that somebody else used is going to wash off, or it's going to start coming off, and then you're going to know it was a water-based, most likely a water-based chalk paint, and you may have to strip the whole thing. It's happened to me. I did a high boy. I don't know what was on it, but I know it was a prep. I want to say a chalk paint, but I don't know whose. So the minute I put our cleaner on it, it started coming off to the bare wood. Guess what I had to do? I had to take it out and I had to strip all of that paint off and start from the beginning. So to think that all you have to do is clean your piece and start painting that is kind of a false reality, because that never really happens. In my world anyway. And so if you have a piece of furniture, let's say in your house, and you got an oak cabinet that's sitting in the corner and you want to paint it and you want to upscale it, do farmhouse, whatever, you're going to clean it. You're always going to prep that piece. And if it's oak, it's probably had some kind of a varnish on it. So you're going to clean it really well. I use our White Lightning cleaner. You're going to clean that really well, which I'm going to demo right here, and I'm going to show you why and what you're going to get off of your piece. And then you're going to want to lightly sand it. Why are you going to lightly sand it? Because it probably has a polyurethane over the top of it, or acrylic of some kind. Polyurethane is probably what you're going to have on it, because that's going to be that varnish that you're seeing. You want to knock that varnish down. Why? Because you want that paint to have something to adhere to. Otherwise, if you paint over that slick varnish, guess what's going to happen? You're going to scratch it off with your finger, and we don't want that to happen. We want you to have great results, whether you're using our product line or another product line. Always, 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 always prep and clean your pieces. So it doesn't take that much of an extra step to get in there and clean it really well. And I'll show you what I'm doing, and I'll show you what I use to just prep my piece. I'm not saying you got to go down to the bare wood, but you just want to knock down that substrate so that you have something to give your products to adhere to. Otherwise, you're flaking it off with your finger in a couple of months. You're gonna be dusting it off, and something's gonna happen, and your paint's gonna be gone because it's gonna start chipping away and stuff like that. We want it to adhere. So I'm going to just go ahead and show you guys. I just kind of want to give you an idea of how important it is. And when you're working with old furniture, the reason I say old, I'm talking about furniture that's been passed around and you've picked up, you've been out there hunting and found you know, like me, this table here, I never let anything go out as is. So I'm always going to clean it. I'm always going to get it ready for paint. So that's what we're about to do. I'm going to show you. I'm going to put you down here and show you what I'm working on. So I am working on these spindle back chairs. Y'all know I hate chairs. I hate spindles because, you know, this is a time-consuming job. So I've got 4 chairs. I've got a bench over here, and we got this table behind us. So I have a little Scotch Brite. This is a green Scotch Brite. I put these in all of our workshop, in all of our work spaces where we have our paint. And I want to show, I'm going to get this chair a little bit closer to you guys so you can kind of see. So I did pick this up. So, and I don't know if you can see with the camera, but I'm going to pull you in a little bit. Can you see the goop around, all the goop around the edge of this chair? It's real gummy, it's goopy. And I'm looking at this, and some people are just going to paint right over this. This is what you don't want to paint over, because I can pretty much scratch that through my finger with a glove on, and it's all this goopy mess. So I'm going to show you what that is. So yeah, when you're flea market flipping or flea market searching and you found yourself, you know, this is a nice set, nothing wrong with it, but it needs to be, you know, cleaned up and gotten ready. And I'll show you, I don't know if it shows up very well on this live, but it's pretty gnarly, if you will. In this, I have a Bona bottle. I have found that this Bona bottle is amazing, and I'll tilt you up just so I can talk to you there. I have in this our White Lightning cleaner. It's a powder cleaner. Y'all seen it. It's called White Lightning cleaner, and I always mix mine a little bit stronger than they say, but that gives me a good clean base. So normally in this, I would use a tablespoon in this bottle. This is a good size bottle. I mix it with warm water. And this has got a nice mist spray on it. So I have used this over and over. So reduce, reuse, right, with no waste. So that's what I'm using. My cleaner is in it. And hopefully my phone won't jump off. We've had it, it's live, it happens. So, so I'm going to just show you right now. I'm going to just kind of mist. You see what a nice, it's a nice sprayer, as you can tell. That's why I kept it. And this one had some gumminess on the back of this. This is my Scotch Brite, and this is what I use. And I'm going to come in here because I am going to redo the seats on this. But first, this one's never been touched. And there's some glitter on it. I don't know if maybe this whole set was used. What I'm really concerned about is all along this. I think you can kind of see that gnarly, nasty stuff on there. You paint over that, you're going to be sorry. Because, yeah, your paint's probably not going to stick. Guess why? That's some kind of grease or glue or who knows what. And I use these Scotch Brites. I think they work really well. I call them that. Let's see, is that what they're called at the store? I think so. And I get a big container of them. Those of you who are doing this at home, you only need one. You're not going to need a whole container of them because you're not me having to do multiple pieces of furniture. But I'm getting all around these spindles really well. because it's really goopy in there. And I'll probably stain this. And I want my stain to stick too. I don't just want my paint to stick, but I need my stain to adhere as well. I'm gonna spin this around. The one thing I like about the Scotch Brite is they're flexible. So my fingers are sore, you guys know, because wearing these gloves and then working with all kinds of pieces of furniture and sanding. And now I've done that, lightly sanded all of the others that you see in the background here. Never mind my daughter's shoes. Yeah, I'm wearing I got her Crocs on. But they're comfortable, you know. I wear them because they're comfortable. Yeah, they don't look real pretty. Sorry, guys. But sometimes when you're on your feet, as much as I am, they really do give you some support in the back of where I carry all my weight on my heels. So yeah, I'm going to get this off. And you can see some of this gunkiness that's coming off here. I'm just going to get down. Again, I'm working it all along this edge because it's important to me that I get it good and clean. And that's just this part of it. And I'm going to take this, you can see how clean my rag is there. And I'm going to take this and try to wipe in between. Now I will come in and lightly take just water itself in a clean rag and take any of the cleaner residue off of my piece as well. So I'm just going to come in here and get this all cleaned out. And you can see what I'm getting out of there. So that's what we would normally have on a piece of furniture. And that's something that you would be, you know, if you are painting, or let's say you're revarnishing even. If you were going to revarnish this or restain this, I would do the same thing. I would clean them really good. Because you never know where anything, and obviously we're dealing with COVID and everything right now. So of course you want to get any germs and stuff. So that is just what was on the seat. So if that shows you a little bit of an idea when you are working on pieces. And now I'm going to do up underneath here, because this is, I don't know what it is. It's sticky to the touch. All up under here, so kind of freaks me out a little bit. I'm like, no. But of course, I'm gonna spray my cleaner on. And like I said, I mix my cleaner a little bit stronger than the majority of people, but it's a good cleaner and it'll do the job. It'll clean this goopy mess off. Whatever it is, I haven't figured it out. I almost thought that maybe somebody had put some shoe polish or something on it. I couldn't figure it out. I still, you know, I've done all the other pieces, and I saved this chair specifically for tonight's live to kind of show you, you know, that I do it too. I get in here, I clean all of my pieces, I put the effort in. Obviously, I'm not going to have you on here all night long watching me clean all the others. That's why I did it here just to show you. This one chair and held this one chair out. So I'm going to clean this bottom and base, and I'm going to show you why. When you see my rag, you'll understand why I am cleaning this like I'm cleaning it. So, never mind the noise, y'all. It's my youngin' and her dad. See here? Look at there. See that mess? I mean, I don't really get it, why it's there or why it's like that. It's possible that this is a paint that maybe was on here. That's why I do it a little bit stronger, because it kind of helps knock it all down for me. And here I am with my Scotch Brite. So yeah, back to basics here, guys. Never, never, never think that you can go and just jump right in and paint a piece. I mean, you can, but good luck with that, because most of the time, if you just jump in and don't do any prep, it's gonna not end well. You're not gonna have those great results that last years and years. And you wouldn't be doing this yourself if you didn't want it to last, right? And you didn't want to be proud of the fact that you did your whole table set yourself when your husband walks in and says, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. We just get new furniture. And you're like, no, I did it. I redid it, and I saved the furniture, reduce, reuse, and look what you could do. And you can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. You just got to be patient with yourself and give yourself the time. And just take your time. And like if I was doing my kitchen table like this myself, I do one chair at a time. Take my time. Don't stress myself out about it, because it's just easier if you pace yourself than if you're thinking, oh, I got to do it all at one time. Now with me here, yeah, I kind of get that way when I'm working on different pieces of furniture. And if you guys have any questions out there, please feel free to shoot them at me. So now I'm going to come up in here, and I'll help you any way I can. I mean, that's my goal. My goal is to do these lives so that not everybody has painted every single day of their life, and it's new to them. They want to do it, and they're excited, and, you know, reach out to us. That's what we're here for. We know our products. We've all been to school to know what to do with our products and how to, you know, get the best results out of them, and how to make, you know, your desires happen. We can do it, and we can do it for you, or we can do it with you. You know, I love to see people do it themselves just as much as I love doing it myself for other people. But I know sometimes not everybody has that kind of time to put in and invest. And that's when I, you know, am here to jump in and take the helm if I have to. But for the most part, I know these tutorials that I try to put out here, you should be able to accomplish all of your goals just by reaching out and saying, hey, I'm doing this project. What do you think I need? How much paint do you think I need? What will it cover? Do I need a top coat? Do I need a primer? Do I need a, you know, just reach out to us, because that's what we're here for. That's why we go to school and get the knowledge we know. We know what you need and how to help you get those results you want. That's the great thing about working with Dixie Belle paint products, is that they give us the knowledge we need. We all, like I said, we all go to school. We all take classes. We all take, you know, exams and all that fun stuff on our work, so that we can give you the knowledge that you need to be successful when you're working on your own or doing your own projects. So look at this was the rag that we started out with. That's one chair. So this is prep, okay? And yeah, you got a little elbow grease in it. This is not the fun side of the island, if you will. This is the boring side. This is the side where you're kind of getting to know your piece. You're thinking, what am I gonna do to it? What colors do I think I want to use with it? That kind of thing. Do I need a primer? You know, all those questions that come in. Some of the paint's coming off when I'm cleaning. That's why you're seeing this towel get so dirty, is because some of that paint's sliding. And that's okay. Let it come off. It's not going to hurt me any, as long as it's coming off smooth. And now that I've pretty much, you've seen me clean that. That's how long it took. One chair, and pretty much I'm going to need a rag for every one, because otherwise I'd be rubbing this into all of my chairs. I don't want to do that. So all the other ones were just as gnarly. I do not know exactly why it's doing that, unless it's just a powder coat that's on there and it does that with age. That's a possibility as well. But y'all, these are spindleback chairs. You know how I feel about doing spindlebacks. So let me see, what did I do? But yeah, I'm gonna paint every one of them. And then I'm gonna here's piece of little sandpaper here I got, and it's well loved. It's 120 grit. This is what I have been using. So you just cleaned it, and it's nice out today. So it's been warm, so I don't have to worry about products, you know, not drying in time. This is just wiped down. You see, we just went over it. Now you can see where some of this is chipped, or not chipped, but kind of where the paint's gone away. Now I'm going to take 120 grit sandpaper. This is what we call clean and then lightly sand, right? It's clean and scuff sand. So I'm just taking this, And I'm making sure I'm gonna feather that out because remember on our last live we said if you can feel it with your finger, you're gonna see it with the eye when you paint it. So always, always remember that. If you can feel it, the chip in it, you're gonna see it. So if you have a chip, take your fine sandpaper and knock it down. So all I'm doing right now is exactly that. I'm gonna come in here, and it looks like these were white at one time. So I'm gonna come in here and, like I said, scuff sand. So yeah, gonna scuff sand. You see how I'm doing that? I'm not sanding it down to the bare wood. I'm scuff sanding. This is what we call scuff sanding. Now that's preparing it, and I do this whether it's the chalk line or whether it's our silk line. I do it across the board because it just gives me the best results. I want my customers to be happy with the look of their pieces. So to me, scuff sanding just an assurance that my paint's going to adhere well. That's what that is to me. And that's important in my line of work because, you know, I'm doing this for my customers. And it's important on your end because you want something that's going to last a long time and you want your paint to adhere to your piece. So just come in and lightly scuff sand like I'm doing a 120 grit. And I will be scuff sanding the top of this, but not, I'm gonna paint my black first, and then I will be doing my stain. So let me point you down here again and show you what I mean by scuff sanding. Okay. So I got a very well-loved piece of sandpaper here, 120 grit. I'm just coming in here and I'm gonna flip it around and lightly, and I can see some of the paints come off down there, but that's okay, because guess what? I'm gonna put it right back on. I'm gonna use my line, of course, but I'm gonna make sure that this line, whoever it is ready for my paint of choice, my paint brand of choice. And of course I use Dixie Belle paint products because I'm obviously a retailer for them, but also I've never been disappointed with their products, hence why I use their products. And I had all the chalk paint companies, or let's just say DIY paints, chalk paints, all of them. Annie Sloan, Dixie Belle, Country Chic, Farmhouse, Wise Owl, DIY. I've had them all, and I put them all to the test. And the reason I stuck with Dixie Belle is because it was very high quality. One of the best paints, come ranked right up there with any of the other ones, if not better. And it was user friendly, which is, you know, why we do this. It's user friendly, and it's also the most economical. And it is born in the U.S., so obviously those tariff fees we're not having to pay. We're not having to pay impact fees for a paint that's being shipped in from Canada or, you know, Mexico, New Mexico. A lot of the paints out there are not from here. And for me, made in the USA just sunk the deal for me. And it was a high quality product. And I have been using these products for, several years. I've had the business 6 years, going on 7 years. And Dixie Belle so far has not failed me yet. Now, every once in a while, a piece may trip you up, depending on what you're doing. Every once in a while, you'll have that abnormal piece. I'm going to try and clean my gloves off a little bit. That, you know, it might just be, you know, your problem child. There's always one out there. I'm going to grab another towel here. So I have a few of them in the workshop because I always have to have plenty. And let me grab also my mist bottle. Because now I'm going to come in. Now that I cleaned and I scuff sanded, I'm going to take my mist bottle. And you could mist your product. And basically these are, once I wipe these down and get my sanding dust, any sanding dust that I had on there, this is my fine mist bottle that most of the time I use for blending with our chalk line. But I'm going to show you why I just come back in here, and this chair will be pretty much ready to come in and paint. See that? That's chalk dust, paint dust. So I do want to get that. I want to come back in and try to wipe this down to make sure. See how dirty that, it's a dark color paint, so obviously it shows up a little bit more when you sand them, lightly sand them. And so that's what I consider prepping my pieces for paint. It's all about the prep. I know it's not the fun side of what you want to get done, but it's a necessity. It's necessary that you sand or clean your piece, lightly scuff sand it, and then do like I'm doing. Yeah, it's just an extra work and an extra step to come in here and just take my damp cloth, and I do that, dampen my cloth, mist my piece, and come back in here and take my sanding dust off. That also takes any residue from your cleaner off as well, and just really sets the tone for your paint. Now when you paint, and I'm going to go ahead and use this. Now when you go to paint this piece, your paint will have something to adhere to. So now it'll have it can reach into the substrate. You can see this is well sanded and it's fine. You can't feel it with your hand, and it'll make for a nice prep for your paint to go on. In this case, I think I'm going to go ahead and use, I know I've been flip-flopping back and forth from the silk line and the chalk line. Thinking I'm going to use the anchor on this, which is in the silk line. The reason I'm using it is I love the fact that you can paint. It's got your primer in it. It's got your paint color, your paint in it, and it also has your top coat in it. So it's kind of one and done. And so when I'm working with spindle chairs or chairs of any kind, it's kind of nice that we have that silk to fall back on, because you're saving yourself some steps. So if I was to chalk it, I would chalk paint it, and then I would have to come in and obviously seal it because they're chairs, and you're going to be wearing on them. So I chose to use the silk line on this, and I believe I'm using it in the anchor because it's the black as well. So I'm going to stick with the black theme because I like that. And I think we might go with a weathered gray stain, possibly on these, just to kind of change it up a little bit and make it really farmhousey. So that's going to be pretty much what we're doing. I'm not going to let you guys have to stay here all night just to see that, but just remember that it's super important to get your Scotch Brite out, get your cleaner out, and get you some 120 grit, just some light sanding paper, and go over your pieces really well, clean them really well, then lightly scuff sand them, wipe them back down again, get all the dust off, and then you're good to go for your paint. So I'm going to continue on. I've already scuff sanded all of these and already cleaned them. Now I'm going to go back in and I'm going to make sure that I get all the dust off of them, and then they will be ready for me to jump on and start painting. So look forward to seeing this piece out there on the other side, coming probably, if I work hard enough, it'll be ready and on the other side by the weekend, if not probably early next week. So tune in with us Tuesday, see what new projects we're working on. So until then, I hope you all have an amazing weekend. Enjoy the weather. I know it's beautiful today. We may have some rain coming in, but anyway, grab you some paint, get that piece that you've been dying to paint, and now is the time, with the weather turning great again, is a great time to be able to jump in and get some of those projects done. Reach out to me if you need any help with anything or have any questions about any products. That's what we're here for. And I'm going to let y'all go. Have a blessed weekend, everybody. We will see you on the other side. Have a blessed one. Bye-bye.